Hey, it's really hot today. I think it's about 30 and really high humidity, so I'm just sitting outside my front door. I'm not going to be doing much walking around vlogging today, but here is a very short excerpt from the novel Alice by Elizabeth Elliot, just to give you an idea of the witty humor of it. The Nortons had a house party that Easter. Colonel Norton was very put out by it, and spent most of the time locked in his sitting room. If, on coming into any of the other rooms, he found them occupied, he would heave a deep sigh and go back to his sitting room. He was a discouraging man to be the guest of. I have really enjoyed a lot of that witty writing, but I also have to tell you, I bailed on this today because there's nothing else going on here that's holding my interest, and witty, lively writing alone doesn't hold my interest for very long. So I read a third of it, and I've given up on it. The characters are not interesting, the story is not interesting, but there is like I say, I can't think of a better phrase to say that there's a lively wit, and I don't care enough about that to read a book that's not holding my interest, so this one's gone. Strike one for the furrowed middle brow imprint. Elizabeth Elliot is not creating vivid scenes or adding any nuance to the characters, and they just aren't interesting. So I have replaced it, because that was the one for a debut novel. So I have gone through my script, and I have come up with a 1918 debut, which sounds much more up my alley. The Return of the Soldier by Rebecca West, and just listen to this opening paragraph. Does this sound like a Sean book, or does this sound like a Sean book? It's about a shell-shocked World War I soldier that comes home, and there's I think there's a wife, an upper class wife, and a lower class girlfriend. I'm not sure. Yeah, that's all I want to know. I don't want to know very much about it. Ah, don't begin to fuss, wailed Kitty. If a woman began to worry in these days because her husband hadn't written to her for a fortnight. Besides, if he'd been anywhere interesting, anywhere where the fighting was really hot, he'd have found some way of telling me instead of just leaving it as somewhere in France. He'll be all right. We were sitting in the nursery. I had not meant to enter it again, now that the child was dead. Gah! So I've read about 5 pages. It's way too early to say whether this is going to be for me, but it's certainly starting out for me. Rebecca West, I didn't know anything about her until I spent 2 minutes scanning the Wikipedia entry. She died in 1983, aged 90, British novelist, I think activist, essayist, journalist, very controversial life, several husbands, several famous lovers, maybe. I don't know how many, I can't remember how many husbands, many famous lovers. She had a child with H.G. Wells and maybe Lord Beaverbrook, one of the few interesting Canadians of the 20th century. Anyway, so I'll have more to say about that, and it's 110 pages, so I might even finish it today. I'm not somebody that starts and finishes a book on the same day. I can't remember if I've done that ever. Certainly not since I immersed myself in reading about 4 years ago. I like to draw it out, so it's going to upset the pacing I had planned, but that's okay. And in my little update yesterday, I forgot to even mention this one, and I am on track with this buddy read with Brian of Bookish. The buddy read's going very well. I'm really enjoying it. Not sure that it's perfect, and duh, what book is? So it might end up being 4 rather than 5-star. I'm not sure about the pacing, actually. It seems like there might be a short story's worth of story that's being perhaps drawn out a little bit too long into a 220-page novel. By the way, this was originally published as a standalone novel. What's it called? Reading Turgenev, and it was nominated for the Booker Prize and shortlisted for the Booker Prize sometime in the 80s, I think. No, it's really good. The characters, the writing, the dialogue, it's just wonderful, but I'm not sure that it's not a little bit too elongated. Time will tell. We're going to finish it tomorrow. I can't see it being anything less than a 4-star read, and if it comes together in a really satisfying way, it's going to end up being a 5-star read. This has been a fabulous reading day. I didn't have to work at all, and I don't start working until 5:30, finish at 7:30, so
セミの声。暑い季節にはひんやり涼しい美味しさ。料理を一口、さあお召し上がりください。ただいまライフでは涼しさをお届けする夏の味覚をご用意しております。喉越しのいい食べ心地に暑さを忘れてほっとするひととき。ライフで召し上がり。
Do you recognize this? My 972 yen, $10 bottle of wine. And let me tell you a little story about some Japanese lingo. Friday in Japan, just like anywhere else probably, or most other countries, it's the night, you know, it's the beginning of the weekend, everybody's happy, lots of drinking for a certain demographic. Kinyobi means Friday, so yobi means day, so kin means whatever, but Friday, Kinyobi. And Hana means flower. So there's a kind of a slang name. I don't know how old it is. It might be really old. Hana-kin, Flower Friday. And it just means let's drink and be merry. Let's relax. Oh, and let me finish the story. But among a certain trendy crowd, you know, the kind of crowds that I travel in, people start the weekend early. And I'm starting the weekend early. It's Thursday night. I have no classes tomorrow. So now, mokoyobi is Thursday. So there's a new slang term for letting your hair down and partying hardy on Thursday night. Hanamoku. So this is my first and definitely not last glass of wine on Hanamoku. And now, since I couldn't get any outdoor footage that wasn't completely boring, so I have nothing from outdoors today, no cute guys. I didn't see a cute guy for all 4 hours I was out. It's abuse. I'm just going to show you the groceries I bought and tell you what I'm going to cook. Ground beef. Oh, for God's sakes. I've got to move the camera back. There we go. Ground beef. Onion, tomato. This is for a meatloaf I will make for dinner tonight. That fish is called swordfish in English. I don't know, do people in the West eat swordfish? I think I'd heard the name, but I've certainly never ate it in Canada. This is my breakfast. I'm going to grill it, marinate it for about 45 minutes in soy sauce and sake, and then grill it 5 minutes on one side, 4 minutes on the other, and eat it with a cup of rice. It's the best breakfast ever. Although I actually like grilled salmon a little bit better, but I haven't had swordfish for a while. Can of tuna, macaroni noodles, and shrimp for a seafood pasta salad for my lunch tomorrow. And a new bottle of sake for my health. I don't want to talk anymore about my reading today, so that's it for today. No vlog tomorrow. Stay tuned for my BookTube prize videos at a certain point tomorrow, and I'll combine a Saturday reads with my Saturday vlog. Thanks for watching.